The topic is masturbation. Is it a sin? That is for the religious angle, and morally, is it wrong? Because I see a lot of things, and I have my own angle for or against. I have my angles, but I want to hear from you. I said I'll bring it up and bring it to someone like you. I know you are very intelligent and grounded in lifestyle.
First and foremost, sin against who?
Against God.
Okay.
Let's start from there.
Nobody sins against God. Nobody can sin against God. You can only sin against your fellow man or against yourself. Okay? Nobody can sin against God. God cannot be sinned against. It's not even possible. You know. That is in the aspect of what God truly means. I'm not talking about God in the religious terms. Religious gods can be sinned against, but that is not the true reflection or representation of what God truly means. Okay? What God truly means cannot be sinned against. It's not even possible. Okay, so when someone is masturbating, who do you hurt?
It doesn't hurt anyone. If you should hurt anyone, is the person that is actually carrying the act.
Beautiful, yes. Thank you. Beautiful. That means at that point, you are not sinning against anyone because you are not hurting anyone. You sin against people when you do something that hurts them, whether emotionally, physically, mentally. That's why I always tell people that when you offend someone, don't go home and start praying for forgiveness. You did not offend an imaginary being called God. You offended a human being. Go to that human being and make an amends and apologize to that human being, because that is the person you sinned against. You offended. That is the person you should ask for forgiveness from, not only God. So, okay. So, when I'm talking in the area of whether it is a sin or not, so it can only be sin if you hurt someone by it. That means you have sinned against that person. Or you hurt yourself. Okay, you put yourself in harm's way, whether emotionally, physically, or mentally. Anyway, you have tried to put yourself in harm's way. That is why even in life, something like suicide is an offense by law. It's a crime by law. Even though it is yourself you want to kill, it is not permitted. So one can actually commit a crime against their own self.
Yes, I was even coming there.
It can only be a sin if it is against someone or against yourself. So we have cleared the path
against someone.
Against someone is not a sin. Yeah. Now, are you hurting yourself through that act of masturbation? If yes, then stop it, because you're putting yourself in harm's way. If no, then it is not a sin, because it is not a sin against someone else, and it is not a sin against you. Okay? It could not be a sin for someone, and it could be a sin for another person. The same thing could be a sin for one person, and could not be a sin for someone.
Okay, so if the person is, let me take you back a bit. So if the person is doing it properly, and it's not affecting,
I don't know how what you mean by properly.
Yes.
But if you are doing
when you are doing it and it's not a sin against you, you know it's not a sin against you, that means you are doing it properly.
Yes.
Is there a way that masturbation can be done and it will be done properly? Like, is there a way it can be done and it's not done properly?
So I'm picking from his own context. If it doesn't hurt you doing it,
okay,
it is done properly.
Okay. When the word properly means that there is a defined way of doing it.
As long as it doesn't affect anybody, whether you or somebody or the wind.
Now, yes, exactly. Whether anybody, if it's not affecting anybody, why not? And you are having fun, you are enjoying it. Yeah. Go ahead and do it. Okay? Everything in life has consequences. Now, when we say consequences, people might not want to take it negatively. No, consequence can be good consequence. So people try to threaten people with the word consequence.
Consequences for everything. Yes. Everything has a consequence.
Everything has a consequence.
So you cannot
every single thing, what we are doing now has its own consequence.
Yes.
Turn out for the good, for the better. So anything you're doing in life get ready to bear the responsibility when it demands for it. Now, masturbation can affect you who is doing it when it comes to your sexual life. It can affect you. You understand? When you get used to masturbation, it forms your sexual, what do I call it? Your sexual part, that even when you are with your partner, you will not be, because it's energy you are giving. You understand? You align your energy so much to self-service, and when it is time to give it to your partner, you will not be able to. It becomes difficult. You understand? So by then you come to realize that you have harmed that aspect of your life, and you have to do something about it. The masturbation itself is not a sin, but the outcome could affect something for you. The consequences, thank you, would affect something that, because someone else have come into your life now, when it was only you having fun, you're enjoying it, it is nothing. Now someone else have become involved, and it could affect what you have to do with that person, because what you have to do with that person is important.
Okay, just like the Bible says, when you get married, your body is no longer your body.
It is no longer
Before
your body.
it was your body.
Thank you.
Now, that's why you were masturbating.
Beautiful.
Now it's no longer your body. You need to pass that job, that service to somebody else.
So directly you're also telling us now that, because you started by saying that if you are not hurting another person and you're not hurting yourself, it's not the same. But you blended to masturbation being the same, in the sense that if you continuously masturbate and it gets to a point that it starts affecting your sex life with your partner, it becomes the same, because you are now sinning against your partner.
That is if. That is if.
If, yes.
Because when you are conscious, like he's saying it now, people are watching.
Okay.
When they begin to know that when it gets to the point of partnership, you need to cut that thing off.
Cut it off.
That is, so you see that the person knows, so it cannot be a sin.
Now,
if the person activates that knowledge.
If from the beginning you know that this could lead to this, you understand?
Yeah.
If I masturbate and I keep masturbating and I keep masturbating, tomorrow when I get a partner, it is going to affect an aspect of our relationship, and you know it, and you still go ahead to do it. It simply means that you are intentionally creating a future obstacle, creating a future problem. Exactly, but again, if from the beginning you know that this could lead to this, you understand?
Yeah.
If I masturbate and I keep masturbating and I keep masturbating, tomorrow when I get a partner, it is going to affect an aspect of our relationship, and you know it, and you still go ahead to do it. It simply means that you are intentionally creating a future obstacle, creating a future problem, and you will bear the consequences.
Yes, the person might be ready for the consequences and might be ready to deal with it.
Good.
Okay,
So,
but is there anything that we do in this life that we don't actually abuse? Like most of the things that we do, even eating, we abuse. Let's say that you eat them by the morning, eat them by the afternoon, eat them by the night, eat them by every day, just because
there's always something that we abuse.
There's always something that we abuse. So from this thing you're saying now, should we say that okay, that is when you abuse masturbation?
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Because personally, I don't see anything wrong with masturbation. Like I see masturbation as a way of even getting to know yourself,
Exactly.
getting to know, how your body works. Because it's only when you know yourself that you can be able to,
can
give out and
Yes.
tell even your partner how to please you. If you don't know yourself, you don't expect another person to know you. Why you yourself you don't know
Thank you
yourself?
very much.
So, but from what you're saying now, you're saying that when we overdo it, when
it start to affect.
when we misuse,
when you abuse it,
when you abuse
misuse
it becomes
when you do it to the point that it takes an aspect of you that is important in your relationship.
So at the end of the day, it just has to do with it has to be.
And it shows, because sometimes when you say abuse, some people don't know if somebody that smokes every time, if you tell him that he's abusing it, he's wondering what do you mean by abuse.
Exactly.
But he knows when he smokes and somebody is screaming at the other place that you are disturbing me.
Yeah.
You know that you are disturbing somebody. So if you don't know the abuse, the definition of abuse, you know that there's a definition of you are disturbing somebody else. So because a lot of people don't know what abuse means.
Exactly. Some people pray, they shout,
Yeah.
loudspeaker, they disturb people.
They don't know it's an abuse. They don't know.
An abuse. So when the people start complaining, since you are daft enough not to know that there is something called noise pollution, then the people around you have to remind you that you are an abusive neighbor, very abusive. Okay? So yes, that is it. Every human being in life has the potential. There's something called potential. Potential is an ability to be, to do. You have the potential to be anything, to do anything. You can take what we call love and turn it into hate. You have the power, you have the energy. You all do. Understand? So that is why life is duality. We create the duality ourselves. We take this and we are powerful enough to make it the other thing. You understand? So you can take that masturbation, which is a wonderful thing, a beautiful thing, like you say, to be yourself, to unravel yourself, your sexuality, the power of it, and you can become too engaged, too involved in it that it starts affecting something else.
There's something I want to ask about that masturbation. Anytime I see, if I see like 10 posts about masturbation, believe me, 9 is always against it.
Why? What do they normally say?
Most of the time, what I see there is it takes over your mind, it saps your energy, it's you religiously, it is fornication, because they say anything you think, you've already committed sin. I think there's a part in the Bible where they say once you think of a woman lustfully, you've committed sin. So you see all these things I'm telling you are the things that I always see there. I've never seen masturbation is good, it makes you understand yourself, like so that you can give it out. This is the first time I'm hearing it. So when I see something that's always negative, it's not possible for something to always be negative. There must be a positive side to it. Why are we focused on the negative side? Just the way everybody talk bad about the devil. We'll come to that topic another time. That will take those good things that the devil has been doing. I'm sure a lot of people want to hear that part. So I always see that negative part, but I always look at it that no, I have like 1 or 2 positive parts, but I want to hear from you first. Why do they always concentrate? Why do they concentrate on those negative? It saps your energy. It is this thing. Very soon you will not be attracted to. You'll be used to self-servicing, this and that.
The majority of the people who say these things masturbate.
They cannot tell us now. They won't tell us because nobody wants to come out actually.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to come out. I've not even seen anybody like that.
No,
Say I masturbate every time. Most of the time they always say I used to masturbate. Now I don't masturbate. No, I've not seen somebody that will come and say I masturbate and I'm happy to masturbate. I'm still masturbating today. Join me. There's nobody like that.
Maybe you should be the first person.
So majority of the people who condemn these things do it. Okay? Most time what people condemn the most are the things they do. They are only looking for ways to stop it. They feel that by condemning it, they'll be able to stop. Most time on social media, when people make a post, even take for example, when people kidnappers talk about the kidnappers are there on social media commenting. They are commenting. They are commenting. The people who have carried out that such act that somebody come to talk about on social media, they are there. They are seeing it. They are commenting. They are saying God will punish this kind of people. You know, they talk. They will not come out, and that's why social media is very deceptive. It is not a true reflection of what the true life is about. Now, people who condemn this thing, like I said, most of them masturbate. And you said one of the reasons they came is that it takes over your mind. Yes, and that is the truth. What you give your energy to, takes
Like any other
like any
habit.
other thing. Like people who watch football, it takes over your mind. People who love cooking, when they are cooking, it takes over their mind.
Anything you are good at.
Anything you're good at takes over your mind. Now, does it control you that you do not no longer have control over it? That is where the issue is. Anything that takes control over you, that you do not no longer have the power to say is enough, or the power to say I don't want to do it today. You become addicted to it.
Addicted. It's
That
no
is-
longer an habit. It's an
Yes, it's
addiction.
not an addiction. That is where the issue is.
So you can be addicted to anything.
Of
To
course.
cooking.
Just
And
as
it takes
people
over
are
your mind.
addicted to
Exactly.
smoking, drinking.
Anything
Those ones are both positive and negative. Positive
anything
ones. They
that
are
you no longer, and masturbation has that power to make you become addicted to it. It has that power because it is the power of sex. We will talk about the power of sex. The power of sex is one of the strongest powers in the world. It is a creative power. Okay? It is the power that takes over you. That's why it's called an orgasm. You experience an orgasm. That orgasm point is a point of creation. When you get to that point, you lose yourself. You understand? You lose yourself by at that point you've given up everything you have, no more control. And when it happens, it's when you pick yourself up again. You understand?
Yeah.
So anything that can take you to that level has the power to take over your power from you. It has that power. So when you are doing that thing, just like drugs, it has the power to take over your power from you to the point that you no longer be able to say, I don't want to do it. The more you are saying, I don't want to do it, you are doing it. You understand? So that is the negative aspect of masturbation. If you can be intentional enough not to give it your power, to say enough, to say I don't want to do it today, because you are giving your energy, you're giving your energy, you're giving your energy. You will come to the point that you no longer have control over how you give this your energy. And that is where it is bad. That is the moral aspect.
Okay. Okay. So a situation where somebody is too sexually active and you are telling the person not to masturbate, how do you tell the person to? A lot of people will always say, abstain, take your mind off this, don't have porn on your phone, don't look at somebody else. They'll say pray. Somebody that needs to pray before. It's now time to pray. When something that is about to sweep him off his feet, you tell him that he should pray. So something that comes to you that fast. So the question is, in that kind of situation, will you tell the person not to masturbate?
Okay. Tell your question, right?
Yes.
Let me quickly also say something about your question. Now it's like asking somebody who is addicted to drugs, when that urge comes and the person cannot hold that urge, what do they do? Will you tell them to pray? Okay? You are now saying that when that urge for masturbation comes, now masturbation itself is not bad. But when it has come to the point, like I said before, where you no longer have power over it, it becomes negative. You must not give your power away to anything in life, not even to your partner. You must not give that your willpower. That is what makes you a human being. What we should be telling that person is go for therapy. You are losing who you are. You are losing your power. You are losing yourself. You are losing yourself. Don't make an excuse for masturbation to take over you, because the excuse you're making is that when it comes, you can't control it. So we shouldn't talk to you about doing any other thing. It will allow you to do it because they are taking over you. No, we don't allow you to do that. Go for therapy and rescue yourself from that demon. That is a demon.
Okay, but the therapy should come before the demon comes.
Whether it is the demon,
That's when the demon is at the door.
when the demon has already taken over you, you can go for therapy to be delivered.
Yes.
You must tell yourself that you are tired of this. You want to break. You want to get out of this before you can even go for therapy. I'm not saying go to your pastor for prayer. Prayer does not solve it. It is a healing session you need, a therapeutic healing session that you need. Okay? Not, in fact, if you're a female and you're going to your pastor, he might even start sleeping with you.
Okay,
Go
go.
for therapy. Okay?
We've seen, I've seen testimonies of people that say that that they have this addiction of I think I've seen it online. The girl is a lady. She talked about having that addiction of masturbation, but then she went through this prayer session and she got herself. But now you are telling us that it's not.
I was not there.
Mm.
Okay, I can only tell you what I know works. You understand?
The prayer session might not just be prayer session. It might involve therapy in it, but they will not tell you.
If
the person doesn't understand.
If prayer session works for you, it works for you, and you are sure it works for you, fine, celebrate it. I'm not against anything if it works, but I'm telling you what I know works. Prayer, that is why Nigeria, Africa is the way it is today. We pray a lot. We don't take action that to help correct something. There are a lot of things. The things we pray for in this country are the things that when you get out there in another country, they have those things. You don't need to pray for them because they have worked for it, they make it happen. But here we are praying for it. In fact, we are even praying for visa to go to those countries. So if anybody tells you that prayer session made it happen, fine. I'm good for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much.